My thoughts this year. Well, I hope to see this first quarter is going to be pretty big. Like you got Mass Effect 2 on PS3, which I will talk about in our outro. But anyways, there's also Dragon Age 2 that's going to be coming out. There's going to be more fighting games this year. Actually, there's Mortal Kombat 9, I believe, and Marvel
Yeah.
vs. Capcom 3. I will be getting both, by the way. I'll try and get. I'll probably be playing more Mortal Kombat since I know the background about it a bit more. Uh, Pretty much this first quarter is dominated by PS3 multiplats. For me at least, I feel that it's going to be a good first quarter. It's not going to be like
Even
last quarter.
Little Big Planet's pretty good too. Like that came out like 2 weeks from now, I think.
Uh, Possibly. I don't know if I'm interested in it. I wasn't impressed with Little Big Planet 1. That was just a personal opinion, but um, I know that you guys will be getting it. I don't know if I will. 'Cause
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting on that game.
yeah, I think Mass Effect 2 comes around that time, and mm, it's on the 18th, I believe, that comes out. When's Big Planet 2's release date?
I believe it's the 18th too, which is kind of sucky, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think Little Big Planet 2 will be a kind of a loss for me. But anyways, continuing on. Now Conduit 2, that's a forgotten game. That's coming out this February. I think the
Hoping
11th.
better than the first one.
I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was alright. I mean, I played the shit out of it. I think that's my most played Wii game so far. I think I put in about 100 hours into it, and that's
Yeah, it started off
mostly
really good.
multiplayer. I mean, yeah, there was hackers, but all you have to do is leave and join another room, basically. I mean, I
Yeah, but that's
wasn't.
pain.
Yeah, the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because I didn't take it seriously. I did it for fun. Um, but Conduit 2 is look like in a real excellent effort by High Voltage. I see them in the future getting to the point where they become a second party developer for the Wii only. Mainly because they're also coming out with the Grinder this Halloween, which is going to be a pretty interesting horror game. It might be on the
And that's
likes of the
that's
Dead Space.
multi-platform, right? They have like
Yes,
the
but
two.
Well, there's
It's
a
like different.
difference.
yeah, there is a difference. I think it's third party, or no, not third
They're
person.
it's like top down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's top down like Alien Swarm.
Well, it's first-person shooter for the Wii, and then the others, it is third-person top-down arcade style.
Yeah, which could be interesting. I don't know how I think aren't they getting the Quantum 3 engine running on the 360 and PS3?
I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen much about that game. They had like that one trailer, and then it was like kind of disappeared.
I think they're only using it as filler just to gain a little bit of money. 'Cause I think it seems like a side thought.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, that's a game to be excited for because it's gonna have tons of enemies online, like tons of screen enemies on the single player, knowing that frame rate won't drop so much. That's the only game in my eyes I see that's going to be really good on the Wii is the Grinder and Conduit 2. That's my only excitement for the Wii this year. Moving on to E3, I see Valve announcing Episode 3 or Half-Life 3, but regardless if it's still on the Source engine, it's still a mystery because there's been speculation on the reason why it's being delayed so much is that they're creating a new engine and getting rid of the dated Source engine, which is a good thing because I find Source engine is very loose and glitchy as well. Um, that's my hope for E3. I also see more 3DS future, and if Sony wants to stay in this handheld market, they're going to have to really push their their rumored
PSP2 or whatever.
yeah, the PSP phone kind of thing. They're really gonna Sony's making big mistakes on this handheld front. That's why the PSP failed so much, is because they didn't push it very well and they didn't sign many developers to develop any new games for it, because it was always just collection releases or PS1 releases. So most likely, if this new PSP is up, because there's been rumors that it'd be at PS3 level, which is not possible. It just
Yeah, I don't even
isn't.
understand if they can do that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not at that point yet, and there most likely this PSP2 is going to be around the PS2 era, and I see if that ever happens, that it's going to be the same repeat as PSP, where they're just going to only do PSP2 games for it. They're not really going to put any effort into it, and that's the main thing for Sony at E3. Microsoft is falling hard. We discussed this earlier, saying that they're only going towards casuals, and they're seeing that it was so successful for Nintendo that we should follow the same route, which is a huge mistake.
Yeah, because Nintendo, even though it went super casual and sold a lot of the hardcore moved on. Like a good chunk of it still stayed. A lot of it moved on.
Yeah, I mean, I've moved on from Nintendo myself. I don't like Nintendo Wii at all this gen. I mean, there's a couple of good games, but let's face it. I mean, there's not many out there. I mean, that's just personal. I mean, Blackbuster and Shokio and Black Bond have all these different opinions on it, saying about these other games. I mean, they don't appeal to me personally.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't know about you guys.
So, what's your thought on maybe them at E3 this year, Nintendo being like, we have this next console, we're not going to show it to you this year, but just to tell us that it's in the works. Think that'll happen?
Well, yeah. Well, recently IGN released a timeline for the Nintendo Gen timeline. That it's been 5 years already since the Wii is out, and every console they've released, it has a 5-year life expectancy. So most likely we're gonna see a new Wii, or I hope they're not following it. I really don't. I really hoping they're going back to the GameCube state, where they possibly bring it up to par with PS3 and their hardware capabilities, and online is the future already. I don't know
Yeah.
why Nintendo didn't realize this, but they really need to step up their servers. They really do. They need to get up to Steam par. I mean, that's the only way they're going to succeed any further in the gaming industry.
And I
Yeah.
really hope they don't call it Wii 2 or Wii HD or Wii More or anything that. Come with a new name, come with a new design, come with new, just redo everything.
Yeah, don't follow the trends of Microsoft and Sony naming theirs just PS3 or 360, kind of lame.
I kind of
Yeah.
hope to see cartridge to come back, because you know that'd be awesome, because solid state is now taking over PC. That it runs so much faster. We're gonna have no loading times at all if we go back to cartridge, because if you look at the DS, you can basically revamp the DS cartridge, make it a little bit bigger. You can probably put about a good 16 gigs in one cartridge for a decent amount of money.
Yeah, as long as they can fit enough. Because cartridges are just kind of pain though, because they got all dusty, and everyone remembers the N64 and Super Nintendo having to blow into their cartridges because they got all dirty. Cartridges are good, yeah, because it doesn't load, but cartridges are just such a pain, and they just don't hold that much.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, I find that cartridges, if you just take care of them, but it's usually corrosion that happens. But we're at the point where big freaking whoop. I mean, we've got dust covers and all that shit. But cartridges, if you look at these SD cards, even if you move over to that for a format for your games, yeah, it might be easy to pirate. But if you even if you go with a proprietary system, it's going to be more expensive, which is a downfall to the solid state stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and even like, cause the 3DS is still using it, but does anybody know how much more the 3DS cartridge holds than the just regular?
Well, it's going to have to hold more if they're putting out a 3D image. I mean, I don't know if that's on the console hardware or the the cartridge format, but I believe they're going to have to find a way to integrate it evenly. I see these 3DS cartridges being around 2 gigs plus.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty. It's not too big, but I guess like what you have like going on screen and just compress a lot of stuff in it. Like some of those games, like Pokemon's a huge game and it like fits on like that little cartridge with enough.
Which is pretty good. I mean, yeah. What is a typical DS size? It's I believe it's 1.2, isn't it?
Is it really? That's how much each cartridge holds? I don't really know.
Probably look it up. I mean, if we get comments on these YouTube videos, someone will eventually state what how much a DS card actually holds.
And yeah, that's even the thing with like the PSP2 phone, whatever. It's gonna be apparently all solid state, and that's kind of a pain. Like I like having a copy, like a hard copy of that to like keep in my drawer or whatever. Like having to go to a store and buy like a points card to buy a game is it's like it just seems like such a pain.
It does sometimes until you get like credit cards or PayPal. I mean, with Steam now, I love digital distribution with Steam. I mean, they make it so easy. All you have to do is have an account, pay whatever you want, and it's there. It's like it's always going to be under your name. You can go to any computer you want and download the game yourself. I mean, they make it feel like you own the actual game.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And the thing about Steam is they're always on sale.
Yeah, like the PSN, like they have like the minis or whatever for the PSP, and they're like ridiculously overpriced. And like the pricing for like just like regular games on PSN, like $15 for a game that's not that big is like I don't really know. They need to like learn to price stuff like way better if they want to be more successful.
Yeah, it's the fault with PSN. Their servers are shit, and their pricing points way too high, and they hardly have any sales. I mean, digital distribution is cheap to run. It's extremely cheap.
Yeah, that's what they need. The servers are like better than when it first started, but like download times are kind of terrible. It's like I don't know. It's like you download something that's like 600 megabytes, and it takes like 30 minutes, and you're like, wow, this is like I could have done this
Yeah,
like 10
it's
seconds ago.
ridiculous.
Well,
And
what I,
it's probably. Go ahead, Dred.
what I was just gonna say is, well, what I don't get it on Steam is how Mass Effect 2 and Borderlands are both $15, but a game that's just mini is about $15, but yet it doesn't hold near as much content.
Yeah, it's the downfall with these console developer or the consoles is that they don't realize digital distribution. You can sell cheaper, which in turn will gain you more profit and more sales.
Yeah, more customers paying. They're like, oh, this is reasonable. I'll start buying more games. Yeah. Do you have any more predictions? You kind of like cut off halfway like
Yeah,
E3.
I know. We like drove off into this pricing point and moved on,
Major
kind of.
tangent.
Uh, well, later on, we hope to see Mass Effect 3. What else? Excuse me. Oblivion 5 is coming out, and some other Q11 or Q4 games. Trying to think here.
Uncharted.
Uncharted 3. If I see more innovation into it, I think it could be quite big. I mean, right now it's just looking like Uncharted 2 gameplay, but with a different story.
Yeah,
Well,
up graphics.
well, apparently the NPC is supposed to be more interactive. I don't know exactly how they're doing this, but it's more